On today's hot sheet, I'm discussing a possible inventory comeback. Is it already happening? The employment situation report and weekly unemployment data. Today is Thursday, July 3, 2025. I am Byron Lazine, and the hot sheet starts now. Okay, live from Connecticut, feeling like a real American, Hulk Hogan style today.
We can't play the music on YouTube. Otherwise
I know
we'll get copyright strike.
We can't play the music, but Logan inspired me this morning with his tweet in reaction to some of the jobs numbers. We're going to go over them today. Real American, Hulk Hogan, here on the eve of 4th of July. Do people do that eve of 4th of July?
No, it's just like Thanksgiving when you're in college. That's the only other eve other than Christmas.
I gotcha. It's day before the holiday. I know the grinders are going to tune in today, Bobby. The real hot sheet grinders, those that are working today. I love days like this. I was just telling the team in the role play, I love days like this when you just know most people aren't doing anything. Most of your competition is on the beach somewhere. I love knowing I'm working when most people aren't. I don't know why. I love it.
Tom Toole specifically. I asked him about next week hosting. He's like, I'm on vacation, man. What are you doing?
Tom Toole's at his beach house. He's worked really hard for 2 decades to get that beach house. See, that's the problem. Some people want the beach house year 2 in the business. Tom Toole's been doing this for 2 decades plus, and yeah, he's got a beach house on the shore. He should enjoy it. And for those of you on vacation, obviously enjoy your vacation as well. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We've got this Realtor.com inventory comeback. I wouldn't even call it a comeback. It's like that the word comeback's old news. The comeback's been in motion. But we're going to talk about which metros have more home supply than the pandemic. So a lot of buyer markets starting to pop up. We'll cover that. And then the big news of the day, all the jobs data, because that's really going to give us some insights onto what the Fed might be thinking here. Right now, you've got just an update on what we talked about yesterday. The vote's going to happen today. So the House is going to vote on this big, beautiful bill. Many of us, I don't know if I'd use the word beautiful when you factor in the deficit. But some of these Republican defectors who said they were going to hold firm in the House, they've now flipped. It passed the vote to go to debate, which typically means they have to do this formal debate thing, this formality. I was listening to Hakeem Jeffries this morning coming into the office, and he's like the guy that did that marathon 24-hour one.
The filibuster, yeah.
The filibuster. Boy, he's hard to listen to.
People are like bringing him water and snacks and stuff the entire time.
He has like a stopwatch, like between every word. He has to have a 10-second dead air space between every word. So that's what they're doing now. This formality, the dog and pony filibuster show. But this vote's going to happen today. We went through the wins for real estate yesterday, and they're going to vote on it. And like there is a chance this thing goes through today. President Trump had the self-imposed deadline of July 4th. The measure to move forward with debate passed 219 to 213. That could be similar when they do the final vote later today. The motion to begin final debate passed around 3:30 a.m. That's where they're at. Final debate. President Trump wrote shortly after 1 a.m. for Republicans, this should be an easy yes vote. Ridiculous. He wants the vote, and he wants it on his desk by July 4th. He wants to do a holiday signing. Okay. I hate the increase to the deficit. One of the arguments is that this bill is going to allow America to outgrow that increase in the deficit. There's only 2 ways to get out of debt. You outgrow or you cut. And it's very difficult to get members of Congress to do extensive cuts. How difficult was it for Elon and Doge to go in there and just start really? They did some things, but it's like, could you cut more? I mean, I'm a big proponent of cutting, but you're not going to get Congress, both sides of the aisle, to play ball on that. So we went through the benefits, a lot of benefits. By the way, National Association of Realtors support the bill. National Association of Home Builders support the bill. Mortgage Banker Association support the bill. All three support this bill. So if you're looking and saying, hey, what's this going to mean for real estate? Go, if you didn't catch yesterday's hot sheet, go take a listen. But if you're looking for your industry in particular, okay, real estate professionals, this is who supported the bill. NAR, Mortgage Banker Association, National Association of Home Builders. We talked about Shannon McGain yesterday, the most important person at NAR. Thank you to congressional leaders putting forward a strong first draft tax reform bill. The tax reform is huge. Got to get tax reform figured out. Mortgage Banker Association, Bill Kilmer, Senior Vice President, says, on behalf of MBA, as I write as the Committee on Ways and Means moves to consider the amendment in nature bill reconciliation markup this afternoon. MBA continues to support the shared goal of enacting tax legislation that spurs jobs, economic growth, and investment in our community. Okay. NAHB, Home Builders, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act will help improve workforce shortages, rein in government regulations, and provide much needed additional resources to increase the supply of affordable housing. So all three major associations want the bill to go through. The bill certainly, if it does go through here today, will bring more money into the economy over the short term. We can debate long-term issues on the deficit. I've been against increasing the deficit, but maybe the argument of outgrowing that deficit wins the day. But in the short term, I mean, if you're not taking these next 6 months to prepare for a potential 2026 boom year, and you're still playing scared, that's a missed opportunity. Look what Wall Street's doing. Wall Street, the last 2 weeks, record highs on Wall Street. The markets are at record highs. Why? They're pricing in a bigger 2026 than we've seen in any of the last 3-4 years. Inventory is going to be back up, so there'll be plenty of options for buyers to choose from as it relates to, if mortgage rates go down, as it relates to their options in 2026, if we're going to see an increase in sales. Here's the change in active inventory versus pre-pandemic for these 10 metros. These are the ones that have the biggest change. We're talking buyers markets. These 10 are certainly that. Denver, Colorado, change in active inventory versus pre-pandemic, up 100%. Austin, up 69%. Seattle, Washington, up 60.9%. Dallas, up 55. San Antonio, up 58 plus. San Francisco, up 53 plus. Nashville, Orlando, both 44 plus up on active inventory versus pre-pandemic. Vegas now at 28% plus. Tucson, Arizona, up 23%. Okay. So these are markets that built the most new housing during and even after the pandemic. They're most likely to show huge inventory gains. Okay. As housing became more unaffordable, the areas that built up inventory the most, they're going to be the ones that are sitting on the most inventory. Austin, Denver, Nashville. They saw rapid construction growth. And now they also face longer sell-through times. Okay. As the market comes down on interest rates, that is, on the 30-year fixed, these are still going to be attractive markets. Austin's not, There's not an exodus happening in Austin. Okay. Despite the fact that, Cape Coral is, according to Wall Street Journal and according to the data, is the worst housing market in America now. Okay. Despite that, and despite Florida having high inventory, there's not an exodus happening in Florida. Florida will be net migration positive when you look at the end of this year. There's not an exodus happening. There's way too much supply happening. Okay. When they say we're 5 million homes short to meet demand, it's affordable and it's geographically located to me. Northeast doesn't build. There's a shortage of homes. There's 2 months of inventory in the market that I'm sitting at right now. Some of you guys listening to this are saying 2 months of it. That's crazy. That's like, we haven't seen that for 2-3 years. They don't build here. They got really outdated municipalities. The Pilgrims are still running some of these towns that I'm sitting in. Okay. It's just the reality. You would need less regulation, forward-thinking local governments. If you're going to get inventory in some of these markets, Denver, Austin,
they're carving all the permits into like stone tablets.
Literally. Denver, Austin, forward-thinking, progressive thinkers as it comes to housing inventory. All right. Here's where I think maybe Realtor.com and Zillow might have a disagreement. Skylar Olson from Zillow says, hey, we're kind of basically in a buyer's market in most areas of the country. Realtor.com says we're not in a buyer's market yet. Okay. U.S. housing market isn't officially in a buyer's market. 4.6 months of supply, still below the 6-month threshold. Like Lisa Chinati says on Knowledge Broker, she thinks that number should be down to 4. 6 month has been the historical threshold that defines a neutral market. That's always the number I've used. 15 years, I've used that number. 6 months, neutral market. We're at 4.6 months of supply. So on the macro, nationally speaking, still a seller's market. Not the case Cape Coral. Not the case Austin, Texas. So there are pockets where there is a buyer's market. Buyers today are seeing more options, more time to make decisions, increasing willingness from sellers to negotiate on price and terms. 40% of sellers are reducing price. But right now, not a buyer's market. Realtor.com says nationwide shortage of nearly 4 million homes due to chronic underbuilding. They don't have chronic underbuilding in Austin. And people want to move to Austin. So I think it's affordable homes, and I think it's certain locations. The more we talk about this shortage, we're not in an inventory comeback. We are in it. It's not just starting, rather. The inventory comeback is here and coming to a market near you. If you haven't seen it yet, I think we add inventory as we get closer to 6%, and there's going to be a period of time before all the buyers come out of the woodwork to join the party. So hopefully that happens at the end of this year. All right, we're watching the employment situation very closely. We've got an employment report here, and then we'll get into weekly unemployment. The report coming out of the Department of Labor this morning let me go to the Bureau of Labor. From the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is the report from June. Okay. Non-farm payroll employment increased by 147,000 in June. And the unemployment rate changed little. It went down from 4.2 to 4.1%. So Jerome Powell cutting in July was only going to happen with a weak labor market. I think he should be cutting. He waited too long to increase. He should be cutting now. We've solved for inflation. The tariff boogeyman isn't going to, create an uptick in inflation. Jerome Powell as much said that earlier this week. Goldman Sachs as much as said that earlier this week. Goldman Sachs now reporting their analysts believe there'll be 3 cuts before the end of the year. So Powell wants to wait to see what happens with tariffs, which means the only thing that can get him to move sooner on the rate cut would be jobs. Look at this job data. This is way better than expected on the 147,000. Unemployment, the hard data on unemployment is still really strong. I mean, these numbers are like they're unbelievable. What I don't like about the 147,000 jobs. Wow, the economy's doing so good. We added 147,000 jobs. Look at the boost on government jobs. Take those 70,000 out. Hey, whatever happened to Doge? Whatever. I all the last 2 years before this new administration, I kept saying these government job, the labor jobs that we keep talking about are being supported by government hiring. New administration, same old tricks. Government hiring, to me, I know there's been some layoffs in government, but look at this, a 70,000 increase for June. The job data looks a lot less attractive when you take out government hiring. This was the biggest labor uptick of any sector. After that, private education and health services, leisure and hospitality, and look at construction. Until construction starts going down, don't call for a recession. That's one of the leading indicators. Construction is the fourth sector that moved up. But I got to call it both ways. Government hiring here is, to me, propping up the labor numbers. Yesterday's number, ADP, which went down, which showed maybe some signs of softening. That was private. So when you factor in the government here, it looks like quite the opposite. As the market sees this, you've got a really strong job creation report, 147,000 jobs. The market's not as critical as the government hiring as I am. I think it's silly, but that's where we're at. 4.1% unemployment rate. And Logan Mohtashami says no rate cut happening in July. That's kind of been baked into the cake. CME Group today, after this job data came out this morning, has moved from 75% yesterday that there'll be no change up to 93% no change. Strong jobs, they completely flip. Yesterday, ADP report, a little bit weaker. Today, really strong data, not only on the June report, but we're going to get into the weekly here. Job data strong. Inflation data says inflation is going down. 93% chance we don't get a cut. That's bad news for affordability. Poly market at a 75% no change. 62% that will get a 25 basis point cut in September. Okay. The weekly unemployment report here came in at 147,000. I'm sorry. That's the job. It came in at 233,000 for weekly unemployment from DOL, decrease of 4,000 for the previous week's revised level. So those few weeks we saw up in the high 240s where we were flirting with 250, those are now 2 weeks in the rearview mirror. The previous week's revised level was 237,000. We have a 4-week moving average of 241. You don't even start looking at weekly unemployment till you get over 250,000 per week. Job market, hard data still suggests pretty strong right now. All right. 10-year moves up on that because we're probably further away from Jerome Powell actually making a cut. 4.334. Here's the move up on the job data. Straight up. Going into the fourth, expect the 30-year to move up. Moved up a little bit yesterday from 667 near year-to-date lows to 673. Still pretty good. We'll see where it goes today. But back on the trend of moving up with this really strong data. This bill that might go through today, you get that through, and you get a Fed that cuts. I'm telling you, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we can't outgrow the what they're adding to the deficit. I'm also saying that the deficit is going to become a bigger problem down the road if we don't do something about it. But what I know about the short term, that bill that they want to push through today, and if you get a Fed that starts cutting rates, wow, 2026 is going to be a takeoff year. America's 250th birthday next year. It's going to be a takeoff year if those two things happen. But we've got the 249th birthday tomorrow. We've got low inventory or high inventory in some places, rather, and low sales. And that's the market that we're dealing with right now. Low sales, 4 million on the existing home sales. And that's a trend most impacted by where the affordability is. And we'll be probably over 6 3/4 on the 30-year fix today. All right. Less than 2 weeks away from BAM BBQ. BAMBBQ.live. Ryan Serhant Technology CEO, Leo Pereira, EXP CEO, Scott Harris, Experience.com CEO. 3 fascinating discussions. BAMBBQ.live. You can sign up for free. It's our 3rd mega virtual event of the year. Myself, Eric Simon, the broke agent, are going to be moderating the entire event. Tons of entertainment packed in.
If you tuned in last year to the ridiculous set that we scribed together for Byron, where we ordered him burgers on the spot.
Yeah, Burger King burgers.
Just wait till you guys tune in and see this year.
This year will be something special. If you're local to Connecticut, we're going to do a live viewing here.
Don't let the cat out of the bag. I mean,
if you're a BAMX member, you can just DM me there, and I'll give you the details on that. Wednesday, July 16th, 12 to 2. And that's Wednesday, July 16th, 12 to 2. Register now. These do have a cap on them. Totally free. And if you're West Coast, our only in-person event this year, September 24th, or if you want to fly out and hang, BAM Camp, September 24th, Scottsdale, Arizona. And that's the only in-person. That's bamcamp.live. Grab your ticket at that location for that event. All right. Hope everybody has a great 4th. Happy 4th. And hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe. Be healthy. If it's a working weekend for you, feel good about it. You've got a leg up on your competition. I'll see you guys soon. Until then, of course, toodaloo.